Howdy y'all, Jackson here with Jerk Studios, and welcome back to another edition of the Historic College Football Playoff, this one for the 1980 college football season. Let's just hop into it. Let's start things off in Dallas, Texas and the Cotton Bowl, as the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs take on the number 4 Oklahoma Sooners. And it would be the number 1 Bulldogs that would get the scoring started, as Herschel Walker would be able to get it into the end zone from 5 yards out. Oklahoma would eventually counter, though, tying things up at 7, as J.C. Watts would get in the end zone on this option keeper. Though Georgia would put together a drive to end the first half, capping it off as Belue would find Lindsay Scott for the 17-yard score to go up 14-7 heading into the half. In the third, though, Oklahoma would tie things up yet again, as Stanley Wilson would find his way to the end zone from 6 yards out. Unfortunately for the Sooners, though, Georgia would once again reclaim the lead, as midway through the fourth, they would kick the 33-yard field goal to go up 17-14. And that would do it. The Georgia defense remain lights out for the remainder of the game, and allow them to win by that score of 17-14, and advance to the national championship in the Fiesta Bowl. We now head eastward to New Orleans, Louisiana, and the Superdome, as the number 2 Florida State Seminoles take on the number 3 Pittsburgh Panthers in the Sugar Bowl. And it would be the number 2 Seminoles to get the scoring started, as Sam Platt would find his way into the end zone from 5 yards out. They'd soon make it a 10-point game, as Bill Capice would make this 44-yard field goal. Though the Pittsburgh offense would finally respond with 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter, as Dan Marino would find Dwight Collins for this 22-yard score. And after heading into halftime up 10-7, Florida State would come out with a scoring drive to start the second half. Capping it off as Stockstill would find Hardis Johnson for a 13-yard score to go up 10. And with about 6 minutes remaining in the third, they'd go up 13 with another Bill Capice field goal. Though the Panther offense would finally begin to show some life in the second half, as Randy McMillan would get into the end zone from 5 yards out as the third quarter was coming to a close. And then after a defensive stop, the Panther offense would put together another scoring drive, as Joe McCall would get into the end zone from 4 yards out and give the Pittsburgh Panthers their first lead of the day, with around 10 minutes remaining in the game. And then they'd even go on to add a 46-yard Dave Trout field goal to make it a 4-point game. And that would do it. Pittsburgh would erase a 13-point second half deficit to come away with a 24-20 victory to advance to the national championship in the Fiesta Bowl against the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. Now before we head on to the national championship, I just want to thank you for watching and let you know I'm actually currently working on doing the first college football playoff, 1869. So of course football was much different than it is today, so I'm actually working on just how to present it. So it might be off in the future just a little bit. In the meantime, if you have a specific season you would like to see, just leave it in the comments and I will happily fast track it. Now on to the national championship. Hello and welcome to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl, as the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs take on the number 3 Pittsburgh Panthers in the national championship. And it would be those number 3 Pittsburgh Panthers to get on the scoreboard first late in the first quarter, as Randy McMillan would get his way into the end zone from 4 yards out. Herschel Walker in the Bulldog offense would respond though on their following drive, as he'd find his way into the end zone from 6 yards out to tie things up at 7. Pittsburgh would finally counterpunch late in the second quarter, as Dave Trout would hit this 47-yard field goal to go up 10-7. Though with their opening possession of the second half, Georgia would again knot things up, as Rex Robinson would hit a field goal of his own. Though the Panther offense would respond, as quarterback Dan Marino would find Benji Pryor in the end zone for a 14-yard touchdown pass, and the Panther lead. Though Georgia again would find a way to knot things up, as Belue would find Amp Arnold for 18 yards and the score. But once again, Pittsburgh would find a way to take the lead, as Dave Trout would kick this 45-yard field goal to go up 3 with about 9 minutes remaining in the game. And that would do it. The Panther defense would be able to hold off any Bulldog counterpunch, as they hold on to win the national championship 20-17. Again, thank you for watching, and if you have a specific season you'd like to see, just leave it in the comments. Also, if you have not already subscribed and hit that notification bell, please do so you won't miss an upload, and it really helps the channel out. Once again, thank you for watching. Bye.